Don't ever go with the flow. Be the flow.
Hey.
And I don't need no middleman to talk with
Yeah.
I understand if you don't understand. That's where we differ.
What episode? Yeah. Welcome to the We Differ Podcast, episode number 46 of the We Differ Podcast. I'm your host, Shell 456, alongside my beautiful, lovely, and amazing co-host, E. We're in the building. I'm feeling good.
I'm feeling better.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. That's the energy we need right there. Hey, let's get it. How's everything going, man? Like, what's going on with life? Anything new? Anything fun? Anything interesting going on?
So, last weekend, I hit for the lottery. $10 million.
We wish.
Nah, like, this week, like, I was just really, like, I had it up to here with life, and it was just like, I have to, hit the lottery.
What do that look like?
But, I didn't tell you that my mom literally, the day before I was saying, like, I'm about to play the lottery, right? And he was like, nah, what we doing is a lottery. He was talking that hot shit, right? So the day after, my mom called me. She like, I dreamed the lottery. I got up, went out to go play, and said, man, I don't feel like walking. Because she talks herself out of leaving the house every single day.
Yeah.
Fucking number came out.
Damn, for real? Is it 3 number? You know how that lottery go? Is it 3 number?
I've never played the lottery in my life.
Yeah. The 3 number is my pop. My pop be hitting the lottery all the time. He hit like 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah, well, from what my brother said, it would have been like 20 grand or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She.
But no, it's 4 number. I don't know. I really don't know how that goes. But what does it look like if I hit the lottery?
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about that.
What was the question?
I was talking about what do it look like when you're down and out? Like, what do that look like?
Oh, so down and out for me is never like, well, I'm going to say this, and I need that tree over there to like tap on real quick. I'm not saying like down.
Knock on the wood right there on the panel.
All right, I'll get it when I finish. I'm not saying like down and out, like I'm like fucked up.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like mentally, like when I'm like, all right, come on, E, what you doing? Like I just be thinking too much and like just feeling like I need to be doing something quicker. Okay. So it's not really a down and out. It's just like me being too hard on myself. That's really what it is.
Okay. All right. Yeah. But physically, what do it look like? Do you stop doing things or you stop?
Oh, I didn't go to the gym all week. But honestly, that's your fault.
I went to the gym every day. How do you blame that on me?
It was your birthday and this guy here. Y'all know that song? It's my party. What is it? Birthday? Or she said?
Birthday.
It's my birthday.
It's party.
It's my party. Yo,
party.
when I tell you, he did say his birthday was last week. He was acting like that girl. Like, he was like super bratty.
Why you think so?
I don't know. Cause I was telling my mom, I said, this is not him. He's never acted like this ever.
Yeah.
I don't know this to be Shells.
You know what it is? All right. I don't like being dressed. So it was like a big surprise. And then it was like, okay, well, shit. If it's a surprise, I don't know what I'm getting dressed for. So it was like, you had to step me through getting dressed. You know what I'm saying? Then it just like, even before we left the house, I left the shirt in the car. And like, I like looking in the mirror before I leave. So I just felt crazy leaving the house, not even knowing what I'm going to look like. It was just, it was a lot.
Either way, he threw me off my square. You know what I mean? Like, so I didn't go to the gym none this week. Like, I can't remember the last time I took a week off the gym. Like, years. I really can't remember. But, yeah, we back at it. I'm back at it. It's cool.
For sure.
It's cool. But, yeah, I was thrown off my square for sure. Like, I was down and out last week.
All right. Yeah, it's time to get back. Applaud to that.
Recognizing and acknowledging.
Yeah. I was just talking to my little brother. He just moved to the West Coast, and that was one of the biggest things that I was telling him. Like, man, I used to be in funks, and that shit would last for 3 months. You know what I'm saying? And since I'm a lot more grounded now, and like in spirituality and like understanding myself and knowing myself, like I can recognize when I'm down within like the first 3 days. And I'm like, oh shit, all right, I'm not gonna let this spiral out of control.
Yeah.
Bring that shit right back, you know?
You know what was weird for me? Because I was like, you asked me, we were sitting right here, I was probably cooking or something. You was like, yo, you think we falling off? And I was like, nah. But previously, there's been times where, like, I'm on you. And I'm like, yo, like, come on. You like, yo, worry about yourself. I'm good. And, like, I used to take offense to it. But, like, you was like, yo, I'm so focused right now. And it looked different for me because it was less physical and more of the behind the scenes, more of a thought process and planning stage. And when you ask me, I'm like, nah. Like when I tell you, like internally, like my mind and where I was so frustrated last week because I'm like I know where I'm going, type of thing, and I'm like trying to rush things. So now, like I totally understood what you meant finally, because I'm like, oh, I'm so focused. Like
a lot of time, focus just look like it look different. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's not physical. Sometimes it's all just mental. You can be sitting down watching motherfucking YouTube, and you just as focused as can be. All right, let's jump into these these topics. All right, first topic on the list is this whole Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears debacle.
Yes.
Like, for those of you who don't know, like Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish put out a video 8 years ago. It had to do with pedophilia, and you know, a video was just all done in bad taste. I think it was just a horrible video to put out. I don't even think they put the video out. It was a horrible video to create. You know what I'm saying? It looks bad on both parties, Aries and Tiffany Haddish. How do you feel about like what's going on with them right now?
Of course, I think it was like real distasteful, and for being in a situation as a child and adults putting you in situations, like it makes you feel even more for the child, because children go through things, and as adults we think we sweep it under the rug, and we think like it's not that big of a deal. So for adults to understand like this is a big thing, and for adults to have exploited these children, you know, it kind of it's heartbreaking. And even further, it's sad because of the actions afterwards. So now the lawyers and how it's like, oh, it's about money. So it's like totally taken away from accountability on the, you know, the adults, and that shit is just it's trash.
We definitely gonna get into like the lawyer talking all that stuff. The fact that they didn't put it out speak volumes. Like the way that it got out was a different YouTube page that somehow got a hold of the video, that it was already edited and everything. And I think it might have been 2 years later they actually put the video out, and they ended up taking it down and saying, no, we didn't have nothing to do with creating this video. We didn't, the camera work, none of that stuff. We didn't have nothing to do with it. So I think even Aries Spears, which I know to be like a comedian who pushed things to the limit. He goes super far, you know what I'm saying? Because I think because he's not mainstream, so to grab attention, he do wild shit, you know what I'm saying? And I just think these is one of them things that just didn't pan out. And as far as Tiffany Haddish, this happened 8 years ago, and I didn't fact check, but I think this was before she had any big break, any big movie, before her success. So I can see her as a young person from wherever she's from, looking up to Aries Spears like, damn, all right, this nigga on. And if I get on these skits with him, I can be on. I'm going to get recognition. So I can see her being like, okay, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? I even heard that she got the kids for the whole thing. So I can see them being in a situation, brainstorming, Aries Spears, like, look, I want to do this thing about pedophilia. We need kids. And I can see her being young and fresh in the game, like, oh, shit, all right, it's my up to bat. Yo, I know these two kids, you know, it's my sister, cousin, such and such. I can go get the kids right now. You know what I'm saying? And the lawyer was saying that they made up an excuse saying that it was for Disney. So I guess that's what she told the mother.
Nickelodeon.
Yeah, and it just ended up being a big lie. If that's that's where things get blurred because it's he say, she say. I don't really like to talk about that.
Yeah.
But from there, they created the video.
And in which no way are we excusing it. Like, oh, she was trying to catch the come up or anything like that. She was a up and coming artist. Like, we're not saying that. Or we just trying to, like, have a better look at why this happened. Because it doesn't quite make sense. Yeah. Because, like, they're kids.
I think sometimes people on the internet, they push things too far to get clicks and get likes and get attention. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I feel like that was the case with this. And just out of bad taste, it's actually disgusting to watch. It's cringeworthy. You know what I'm saying?
It is. Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that because I really do agree. People today, oh my God, and it's even worse in 2022. People are doing anything it takes to get recognition, to get a little bit of the limelight. So we see it every day. This is just this isn't involving children. Like that's the only difference. And I'm sure people done involve children in other things, and maybe it's only being blown up to this magnitude because of who these people are or what these people shit that's been going on revolving these names. So not like people, this is just the world we live in. Like people are like the things that they're doing to create for a laugh is crazy. Like we'll walk outside and somebody will liable to be running outside like in the middle of the street naked. Like people set themselves on fire, all types of shit just to get views and clicks. Yes, but the level that they took it to, I think, just to discuss like a little bit of like what happened in the video. Like the points to me that was the most disturbing was the first one was like him agreeing. I'm not gonna. If you've seen it, you've seen it. If you watching this, you probably understand what's going on. You can go check it out, then come back to understand like what's going on in this video. But like just him like looking through the newspaper with the eyes cut out, looking at the little boy, then R. Kelly playing in the background. Like little boy sitting there, no shirt, tighty whities on, basically naked, and he's sitting there looking at the little boy through the fucking with eyes cut out. On the newspaper. Through
the newspaper, and R. Kelly started playing. That was number one for me. Like that was like, oh shit. Like it's not funny. You know what I'm saying? Like it might have been certain things that could have been funny about the video if it hadn't been that situation because it's the way he's looking, all that stuff. Okay, cool. Second red flag for me, it was in that same clip. Like they had a little boy. You remember it was a truck, right?
Yeah, he was like stroking a toy truck.
Yeah, the little boy stroking a toy truck, like making sexual things, to the toy truck. And this is an 8-year-old kid that these people is telling to what to do. That was another thing that was just like, yo, what's happening here? You know what I'm saying? And then they proceed to go like, it was a bathtub scene with the boy in a bathtub and tighty whities and Tiffany Haddish, who played the mom in it, come in and say, okay, I'm about to go out and do such and such, and he's supposed to be the uncle, and he watching the little boy. And by the end of the scene, he's end up in the tub with the little boy and pulling the boy closer to him. Once again, it's just, I can see this being triggering for so many people that been through similar situations. Yeah, and then like this to spin back around to the lawyers, like how insensitive Tiffany Haddish lawyer is, like saying that this is a money grab. You can't say how somebody gonna react to something. So if you got an 8-year-old boy looking at something, doing these things as a kid, and say the boy is what, 8? He was 8 then, so he's what?
He was 7, now he's 15.
Oh, he's 15 years old. Yeah. So he's still a kid.
And then that's what I was going to say. Like, that's so trash. Like, this happened so long ago, and he's still a kid.
Yeah.
That's mind-boggling. And the what you just mentioned with the lawyers, like, how dare you? Like, how dare you? Yeah. Like, it's a few things that, like, I just don't agree with. I don't agree with the whole thing, but, like, I'm going to stay pretty, like, I want to stick to this. Like, I don't want to throw paint where it ain't. Because, my mind goes other places. Yeah. Like, why the kids were left there unattended and stuff like that. Yeah. But how dare you do something as an adult and to a kid that's vulnerable, because they're in your care, and then years later still not take accountability. Like, you know it's wrong then, you damn sure know it's wrong now, and to say, oh, it's a money grab. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, who are you to... As a kid, I'm pretty sure maybe he was uncomfortable. If he wasn't, whatever. Let's say now he damn sure know that wasn't right.
Yeah.
Like, he knows that
Yeah.
as a 15-year-old, and that's just crazy to me, because as kids we're supposed to be protected, and we don't know certain things. Like, we may feel uncomfortable, but we don't truly know certain things because an adult is telling us to do something.
Yeah.
So now to be older and still be like, oh, yeah, it's kind of like a slap in the face. It's like, yeah, I did it. You only want money now.
Yeah.
You was with it then. Like,
and then at the end of the day, it's the high school era. This kid is in school right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, this kid is probably looking at his peers clowning him right now. You know what I'm saying? It's probably so many things that's going on in that kid life right now. So you just got to understand, and like, you kind of should bite the bullet and cash
you should have
like
like handled that like on the low, for real.
This kind of shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, I fucked up.
Yeah,
let me just handle this.
Yeah, and I don't think none of this is serious enough to like garner jail time, but like financially, yeah. And it's a bad situation because it seemed like it may be hard to bounce back from something like this. You know what I'm saying? As an actor, as Tiffany Haddish being, I think Aries Spears is going to be fine. It's going to make him bigger because he's already blackballed in the industry. All right, so what's the next topic on the list?
All right, should you give your all before marriage? Should you have to prove that you are,
or who you say you are,
or wifey or husband material?
All right. I feel like in a relationship, and if you're taking somebody serious, you should be doing the best that you can be doing. Point blank, period. I don't see the point of holding out anything in a relationship, because I mean, like, we want to know who we dating, so we want to I want to know who I'm dating. Like, if you give me a half-ass version of you, what if you thinking like, okay, the full version? If he like the half version, what are you gonna think about the full version? What if I don't like the full version? What if it's too much for me? You know what I'm saying? Like, people should be who they are. Period. Do right, do good, and the energy. If not from like just your partner standpoint, from an energy standpoint in the world, like, you should want to do your best in anything that you do. That's how I feel about that situation.
Want to do your best.
You should want to do your best.
I don't think that equates to doing your best to another person. So being your best to another person as far as like relationships. So I think that it's certain things, like, let's say, I think in a typical relationship, people think like women are supposed to make doctor's appointments and just handle things administratively, like paperwork and stuff like that, right? And for the life, I'm not really with that. Like, and it's solely because of this. Like, I don't want you to ever lose your independence in that. So where other women like, oh, I'm doing this for my man, I'm doing this, like, yeah, now he don't know how to fucking fill out a form. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what it is with me. I don't want you to ever lose independence. Like, I want,
but do you really think somebody would forget how to fill out a form or something?
No. I really do believe that, like, like through the pandemic, we became so dependent on one another. Like, I've never been that codependent on someone ever in my life. So I know that shit is real. So to the point where, like, if you not eating, I'm not eating. So like, you got to think about those sorts of things. Like, even now, like, I'll be like, like, I'll buy you things to cook for yourself, because like, you're a grown man. Like, you should like cook for yourself. Like, I'll cook most of the meals, but like, I don't ever want to overstep the boundary where so you're not being an individual in this world. Yeah.
And I think that's have a part with being like all that you can be in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because I've come to you plenty of times where it's just like, man, I feel like I'm losing myself because I don't even cook my own meals. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even cook breakfast anymore because you do so much in that. And a lot of times we can lose ourselves in relationships and not be able to be our full self. So I think in terms of that, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. And like I've because I've had like older women say to me like, "Oh, you don't do this." And I'll be like, "No." Like and I have no shame when it comes to those things because like I think when women put themselves in those positions, it's like they're trying to take on this position for the man to be like, "Oh, I can't really operate without her." And it's not always like, "Oh, I'm just making it easier for him." I think I can't, like, "Oh, what you gonna do without me?" And now, like, I think that shit is corny. No, you're a grown man. You're going to exist without me if I leave, if I go away for a week, or whatever, if I leave indefinitely. Like, I really want you to be able to operate in these spaces. I want you to be able to, if you need to make a phone call and like have a difficult conversation with someone, like now make that conversation. And I'm not saying that I don't do these things, but I, like, you know how I am. Like, I'll be like, call them.
Yeah, but in that space, do you ever fear like that you could lose somebody because you don't do certain things?
If that's the case, then you're not for me. And it is what it is. It's cool.
And with that being said, if you was to get married, would you start to do those things?
If that was all right, here's the thing. If you said, "I need you to do this," whatever. Even though, like right now, I'm saying you're probably not that type of person is probably that they don't line up with my type of lifestyle anyway. But if marriage was on the table and we were having real nigga conversations, because that's a tough conversation, and you said like, "Listen, I need you to do X, Y, and Z." Okay, sure. I think you're digging yourself a hole, but sure. Because like I laid everything out for you. Like we done went through, if we're using us, we done went through that codependency where we really couldn't function outside of each other. We went through this shit already, and trying to claw our way outside of it and become independent again. We know what it looked like. So if somebody were to say that to me, it'd be like, all right, that's stupid. Like I've been there before.
Do you think this is a situational thing with that vary from person to person?
Absolutely.
This kind of goes to the next point because I do agree with you 100%.
Yeah, and like I think as women we like to do things like, but like you just can't get caught up in that. Like I do the dishes you don't do the dishes. Like, but if I need you to do the dishes, I need to be able to, can you do the dishes? You need to still know how to like do a dish. You need to, your favorite dish to cook is spaghetti. You need to never forget how to make it. You know what I mean? True. It's just certain things.
All right, but on the flip side of that, like, all right, so let's say like on the flip side of just doing manual work or putting up a brunt of work and something like this, a podcast, you know what I'm saying? Do you look at that as something like, it's my job?
The podcast?
Yeah, it's something that I can't half-ass. It's our thing, but it's something that I can't half-ass. So, like, I got to set these cameras up right every time. I got to set these lights up right every time. I got to get these mics adjusted every time. I got to go edit every time. I got to do all the work. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that you don't do anything, because you do a lot behind the scenes with topics and stuff like that. But what if I did that, what you do, to the podcast? It would suffer, right?
Yes, but I think we're talking about you're bringing profession in now. Like we want this to be our profession, and what I'm talking about is being an individual and standing on independence. So it's two different things. So if you equated that to my job, like that would be one thing. But no, we're like literally talking about like life and existing.
I don't think so. Because I think like within like where we want to be in life and where we want to get to, I feel like our professions and what we do is a part of that. You know what I'm saying? I really do think is a part of that. And even just like anything, I feel like men always will go full throttle in relationships 100%. I think sometimes men don't know how to be emotional, and that's the biggest thing for women. I think a lot of times a man don't know how to cater to a woman's emotions and stuff like that, so a woman be like, oh, you're not doing right. You're not doing everything you're supposed to be doing right. And sometimes a lot of men are just scarred, and they just don't know how to take on them responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like as we grow, we learn and we become better. You know what I'm saying? Like if a man is willing to grow, he's going to become better. Point blank, period.
All right. So if you want to use like the podcast and you not being able to like take any breaks and half step and stuff like that, like I guess if that's the deal, right? You do this. Like I still uphold my bargain, my part of the bargain. You know what I mean?
Because what's your part of the bargain?
If it's like, oh, you take care of the crib, you cook, you take care of us, you know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, 100%. But I'm just saying, like, if you do happen to slack, like, in that area where you
that's just a part of being a partner then.
That's a fact. Like, when you get tired, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, so, I definitely.
Yeah, that's a part of being a partner. And the other side of that is like it being skill oriented. So like when we talk about the podcast, now we're talking about skills. And
so do you think I know how to clean dishes as good as you?
Yeah.
Okay, you think I know how to cook as good as you?
You be scraping and shit out them dishes.
Do I know how to cook as good as you?
Yeah.
All right, now you're just not being honest. You're being dishonest at this point.
So
you think I can cook as good as you?
You make spaghetti better than me.
Okay, that's the only thing I really know how to make. Like, it's obvious that I don't know how to cook better than you. Yeah, so, yeah, I just think it's certain things where it's just like, I think sometimes women can, like, lose track of all things men do. I think that's one thing. Women can be, like, so caught up in their, like, emotions where the point where it's like, all you look for from a man is to, like, be the emotional being, you know, make me feel like this, make me feel like this, make me feel like this.
Vice versa. Do you think that men do the same thing, lose track of what everything that a woman brings to the table and everything that she's doing? Because I'll say this, and we're kind of being open today. There's been times where you'll text me and you'll say, yo, thank you so much. Like, I so appreciate it. And it'll be months between those texts, or if you tell me in person. And so, yeah, like, just like a man can feel like a woman is not really appreciating and losing track or whatever, a man could do the same thing. Like,
all right, do you think, and be honest, be completely honest when I say this, every time you cook and you give me a plate, do I say thank you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's no. You gotta give a different example, because if you literally hand me something, if you do, I'm gonna say thank you every time too.
I think there's a million women out here that cook and clean and do everything, and a man don't say anything to them. I think that's 100% a case. 100%. So I just think somebody say thank you, you can't just look past it and say, oh, I only respect your thank you when it come in a text form.
That's not what I'm saying at all.
It's kind of what you're saying.
No, I'm just saying that certain, like, men and women do it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Do you think a man should marry his woman just to make her happy?
No. I think it's a total slap in the face if a man doesn't marry a woman just solely for the purposes of, I love you, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Not know it makes sense. We've been together for such and such years anyway. She about to have my baby. She got my babies. She do this for me. She a good woman. I don't want to lose her.
Yeah.
That's trash. Like what you mean? Because if I want to get married, like, it's solely because I want to be with you.
Okay. Do you think that men in most situations do get married because a woman want to get married?
I don't know.
Okay.
Is that what you feel?
No, not necessarily. That's a tough one. I feel like a lot of men, I don't want to say it's forced into marriage, but they do marry their girlfriend because they're being pressured into it. Like, I've seen million situations where I'm out with, like, the homies and, like, the big homies, and, like, a conversation come up, and then, like, somebody girlfriend step out and say, oh, yeah, well, yeah, such and such, when he married me, when he decided to do this, like, the pressure of it, you know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes the pressure break people, even the pressure coming from parents, you know what I'm saying? Like, a girlfriend parent, like, oh, when you going to marry her, or such and such, such and such, and not even knowing that y'all might be in a bad situation financially. Y'all might be in a bad situation, like, mentally, spiritually. Y'all might not be clicking, you know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes people just look like, y'all should get married, and this is that. And I think, like, that's the biggest mistake that you can make marrying somebody because you feeling pressure from your girlfriend or your girlfriend parents or even your parents, and just like that thing is crazy to me. You don't think that's crazy?
I think that pressure is a reason that some people get married. But what about the pressure of, oh shit, this woman is great. She's not playing with me. I'm wasting her time. Let me go ahead and like make a move, because like for real, like I do love her. And I do I'm not going nowhere. She's not going nowhere. Like what's stopping me? So I think fear plays a bigger reason, and the reason why most men don't do it sooner.
All right. Do you think people should figure themselves out? Because I feel like
absolutely
you should figure out who you are before you take a step to get married.
Before you be in relationships, period.
Yeah,
I feel. But I think that the reason, because like we're in a relationship, and like I found myself like really struggling, like probably like halfway through, and of course, like I made that step to like really figure out who I was and like get my shit together. But a lot of times, like you don't know that you don't know yourself. You don't really know. So of course, a relationship, a basic relationship, I don't give a fuck if that's just you see him from time to time. Like you need to know who you are, because you'll find yourself dealing with certain things that you don't ever truly agree with because you don't know yourself.
I think the biggest thing to me is like understanding that us growing as people will make our relationship better, not marriage. Like marriage is not what's going to make our relationship better. Us growing as people is what's going to make our relationship better. And I think a lot of people get that confused. I think a lot of people feel like, okay, if I get married, all this shit going to change. I'm going to have a new guy and I'm going to have a new girl and it's going to be shiny new because we got married. And that's not the case, because after, I think it's a lot of fun for women in planning a marriage. You know what I'm saying? So that like, that's a big thing. But after the wedding is done and it's gone, then what? Like, what are you looking forward to after
starting
that?
A family.
Starting a family?
Yeah, starting a family, being one with your man. Like, I think it's more for probably the woman, more to look forward to within the woman. I mean, obviously from both sides, you'll be starting a family, but I think when you get married, like it's like this man really, especially for Black women, us not really like embarking on that journey sometimes. Like I really don't know too many people that's married. Like I really could count on my hand. That's a great
way of I don't even want to say looking at it, because it seemed like something that's so true. If you don't have kids together, like, you know, like the next step after marriage is kids, you know what I'm saying? And like, but my biggest thing is just hurdles. Like if you don't know yourself and understanding, all right, having a kid is a crazy thing. You know what I'm saying? Like what a woman go through. Just in my situation alone, I've seen how like my daughter mom having her and how she changed. You know what I'm saying? And me being young, not understanding postpartum and not knowing how to navigate the changes that she was going through, and me kind of being like a dickhead. She'll be all right. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't understand the severity of it. And my biggest fear in people that get married is like having those skills as a man. You know what I'm saying? Like really locking in and having those skills, because I can see a lot of men just walking away and just not understanding a woman when they going through something like that and be like, I'm done. I think that's what happened in 80% of relationships, like this people having kids, you know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, okay, everything was cool up until we had a baby, then she started acting crazy, you know what I'm saying? And we don't understand like what a woman's emotions is going through after a woman have a baby. So as Black men, we need to be like
men in general,
but I feel like as Black men, we are less equipped, because as Black men, a lot of times we show a lot less emotion because we just don't know how to show emotion. We from tough places and we just like everything gangster, man up, and you know, you'll be all right. So yeah, I just think like little things like that, little hacks that we need to be conscious of before getting married, like things that we need to talk about, those type things. And I think those conversations aren't being had before marriage.
I think like just in a relationship period, like if you have done the work within yourself, you come with those set of skills to communication skills being the biggest, and just any type of skills to get through that relationship. Like it could be a marriage or whatever. Like I think that people do need to come with those set of skills, because if not, you're gonna be jumping from relationship to relationship, getting divorced. But that's the thing with marriage. Like it's so much harder to leave a relationship than you're just boyfriend and girlfriend.
It's so hard to do what?
So much harder to leave a marriage than just your boyfriend.
Yeah, just regular, because you gotta go through the process again.
And you know, that's literally the only thing that like scares me for marriage, because like I swear, like I've been in like a really, 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 like we're committed, but I've been in a situation where it's like finances together, like doing married people shit for real. And that's so scary. Like it's so scary. Like I broke away from that, and like I'm kind of scared to see like what that would look like again. Really.
I
So
think,
like marriage scares me because of not being able to break away so easily. Like I like that we don't have finances together. Like I love that.
Yeah.
And like the only thing, like we share a lease and that's it.
Yeah.
Like I don't want those ties in a breakup at all.
My biggest fear is just cashing out. Like I know where this journey is leading me, and I think that what I bring to the table as far as like business wise and just know-how, sometimes I fear that the equality part of it, like starting a business and being 50-50 with a partner, it would be kind of almost unfair to the point where it's like, okay, yeah, it'll be like, okay, I really built
Look at
80% of this. You know what I'm saying? And now you want to leave, and you want to leave with a 50-50 split, like a clean 50-50 split. And I think that's bullshit.
No, I don't be only because of like we talk about all the background work that the woman does. So
everybody
like,
do
right,
work, but no, I don't think
so
nobody's job exceeds anybody's job.
And that's because no one job exceeds anyone. That's why it's a 50-50 split. You said it.
I guess so.
No.
I still think that's bullshit.
No, because like, yeah, like we got married. I have kids, like, and knowing like the type of mom I'd be. Hell yeah, like yeah, you're gonna, and this shit blow up. Fucking real. Yes.
Yes,
I
what?
deserve that. Absolutely. Nigga, I deserve 70.
That's my biggest fear with marriage. But I do think marriage is like a really beautiful thing.
Yeah, and like I be going back and forth. I'm not gonna lie about marriage, because like when I was a kid, I always like idolized it, and then now like I realized that in my probably only like a few years ago, I realized that I really don't know what that looks like, because I'd never seen people married or happily married. So now I'm like, and I'm not gonna lie, if I have to be honest, maybe you swayed me. I'm not gonna lie, you probably swayed me.
Swayed you on what?
Like marriage. My ideas on marriage.
Is that a bad thing? You making it sound like it might be bad.
I didn't say anything. I just said I'm being honest.
So now, you saying I swayed you to not want to get married?
No, not to not want, just to rethink marriage.
I don't ever think that like I wanted to put that into the air of like rethinking marriage. I just understand that like I need to be completely who I am in order to make somebody else happy, and that person need to be completely and understand who they are before they can make me happy. I don't like bickering. I don't like arguing. I'm not that type of person. You know what I'm saying? So like little dumb arguments throw me off. You know what I'm saying? I understand that about myself. So I would have to have a partner that understood those nuances and understood like, okay, we a superpower, we a super team, and we just going. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I have a lunch meeting with a female client, I need a partner that's not going to get jealous about that because this is business. Like we sharks out here. If this little things like that, where it's like a person insecurities could crash your empire. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like everybody need to work on themselves to where insecurities wouldn't mess the marriage up. And financially, I just think you need to be stable to be married, point blank, period, because, you know.
I do think, though, like, that both people need to work on themselves before a marriage, because I think that if one person is literally, like, yeah, I don't think one person, like, on a journey and seeking therapy and all of that is efficient enough for a whole relationship. I'm like, and the same as like if a child needed to seek therapy, like I would think their parents need to seek therapy because you need to have like a general understanding. And if, you know, people aren't on the same page, then it's like one person, like it's overload on them, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then just making sure everything gotta line up. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so many issues that you don't think a man and a woman would have. You know what I'm saying? Just issues that just might not seem, you know, this issues period. All right, you got a list over there. What is that a list of?
All right. So the number one reason is why people get divorced, or is the other one?
All right. The number one reason why. All right. We got a list.
There's a list of the top reasons why people get divorced.
Okay.
Top 10. We have infidelity.
A.
Financial instability.
A. Communication.
Fighting, arguing, which is communication.
Yeah.
Weight gain. Which is really a shocker to me.
Not to me. I can see weight gain being a really big issue.
Unrealistic expectations at number 6.
I feel like that should be higher.
Yeah. Lack of intimacy.
Okay.
Lack of equality.
Okay.
Not prepared for marriage.
Okay.
And physical and emotional abuse, which is nuts to me. But actually that makes sense because a lot of people who are abused don't leave the relationship. So, yeah, I can understand that. Yeah.
Damn, to lock in with somebody that's abusing you is crazy. To marry somebody,
but sometimes it happens after.
But that's a fact. But this comes to like knowing yourself. For you to get married to somebody that's abusing you physically or mentally is crazy. And that comes along with not knowing yourself, you know what I'm saying, and not wanting better for yourself. And that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of these things is like a lot of time marriage is like, I just want you to love me and I want to be loved and I want to know that I'm yours. So let's get married no matter all the bullshit. You know, sometimes people are that hurt, you know what I'm saying? And that's what scares me about marriage sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, but sometimes it could be like for a woman, it can be like, oh, me out of all people. Like you done ran these motherfucking streets and it's me. And it's like it's a statement for some women because it's like, oh, like you really love me. You really like on some shit. If you want to take, like we done been locked in for X amount of years and you like, oh, let's do it. Like maybe it's like, all right, that's the tipping point. Like you really ready to change. So there's a lot of different reasons. Women get married for many different reasons, like and sometimes like men offer stability and stuff, but we were gonna talk about a list of why this guy wants to talk about why women get married.
Of why women get married?
Yeah, you had your list.
I have a list of why. The top reasons why. All right, this is my top reasons why I feel women get married.
Okay.
Number one is pure love. And I salute all women that get married for pure love. Like, that's a beautiful thing. If y'all both in love, y'all both know each other, that's a beautiful thing. I got a couple bullshit reasons. This is number 2, a ring. Some women just want the ring. This to like flash the ring. Like, yeah, look. I mean, look at my ring. Number 2. The husband talk. This is say my husband.
My husband.
Yeah, this is my husband. That's
my
like
man.
I'm going home to my husband. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, all that. Name change. Like some women get excited about the name change. It feels new. Like I'm a new person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Name change. And yeah, that was it.
All right.
Wait. I'm gonna add one. Just a lifestyle. If a man can offer you a certain lifestyle, I think that's another reason for a woman to get married. And I think that's another mistake because
vice versa. So reasons why men get married, I want to say vice versa a lot of times is the lifestyle that a woman may provide or a certain way that she is. You may used to your dirty ass baby mother or something. And this new woman is like, oh shit, I didn't know you're supposed to clean the bathroom. I didn't know this. I didn't know you're supposed to put your dishes away. I didn't you know what I mean? So it's like a new thing. You have stability. So a man like, oh no, that's home.
Yeah.
To lock a bitch down. You're like, oh, I know she's a really good woman. I am not allowing her to go out here so somebody else could scoop her up. A lot of these men know they have good women to continue to fuck up.
In a good or a bad way. That can be a good or a bad way.
Money. A lot of these men be after these women money.
What? That's not a thing. That is what?
And the biggest, give me a drum roll.
That's not a thing.
And the biggest thing, when they ass in trouble, legal problems, they don't want a bitch to testify.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. I think we covered all the areas of this topic.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, that was pretty good. That's our breakdown on what
we getting married in 2 years.
What's this year?
2022.
4
years.
Yeah. All right. Wait. Do you see an issue with having kids before being married?
No. Because I know for sure I want kids.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure if I want to get married.
Yeah.
So
you wouldn't mind having kids before getting married? Because that's a real thing. A lot of people I would never have kids before I'm married.
No. I really don't mind. But ideally,
you would want to get married
yes.
first. All right. That was the We Differ Podcast episode number 46. And we are out.
Peace.